Welcome to Center of Light, all my friends and family. Good to see you on this. What is tonight? Is today Tuesday? Today is Tuesday. COVID, man, I'm telling you, COVID is more than a virus, bro. Welcome all my sexy human friends, my sexy human friend creatures. Play a little music. Tonight I'm going to do something a little different. Guess we get right into it. Hello, Robert. Let's see who's here. I can't see everyone. Some people are not actually coming into the forum. Let's see, right there. There we go. All right, so tonight I'm going to play you. First of all, I want to announce that Homecoming Crossing the Bridge to the Soul is still available. It's still doing very well. Please feel free to go to Amazon.com. In fact, I'm going to drop a link here now. For those who have not purchased my new book, I want to drop you that link. And for those who have purchased the book and read it, if you would follow the same link to Amazon, I could sure use a review of what you think. Started working on fashioning a new book, and it's called The Gospel of Rna, the Coming of the Celestial Church. May the power and glory of Lord Jesus Christ touch you, heal you, grace you with the ultimate blessing of your liberation. So what we're going to do a little different tonight. Tonight is called, I love this banner, it's gorgeous. We're going to crack open the earth egg. We're going to let some light in and we're going to shine. We're going to glow. The Dawning of Aquarius. Dawning of Aquarius. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Aquarius. This is actually presentation I did late night after a gig. I think it's late night. I usually do those late night. I think this might be earlier. Either way, it's a presentation I done exactly 2 years ago. It's called The Dawning of Aquarius. So I thought to pull it out. And so because it showed up in my memories, I started watching it. From 2 years ago, The Dawning of Aquarius, I'm going to play here shortly. But it talks about some prophetic things that have come to pass. It also talks about some of the bells and whistles that comes along with the 5D package. Center of Light tonight. Center of Light 5D. The Dawning of Aquarius. The vessel mode, or the channel mode that I do in this presentation tonight was pretty powerful. Really, really powerful. And actually, the vessel mode, the channeling, me allowing spirit to speak, is really what motivated me to want to do a replay of this presentation I did 2 years ago called The Dawning of Aquarius. Please share this everywhere. It's a beautiful presentation. It's a little more simple in its technology. I just use my phone, and it has a really cool spirit about it because of. I'll see you after the presentation. Stick around if you can. Again, please feel free to share this. So tonight's presentation is about the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Moving and living and experiencing reality in 5D, the fifth dimension, or the fourth density. First density is the lower chakra, the root chakra. Second density, and it's red. Second density is the sacral chakra, and it's orange. Third density is the third chakra, the solar plexus chakra, and it's yellow. But now we're moving into the fourth density, which is green, which is the heart. This is the sacred time that Jesus spoke about as the sacred heart. It's the stargate. And many people are moving into that experience by falling out of the monkey mind, the noise because it wants its banana and will not shut up until it gets it. But strangely, when we raise ourselves up to the heart, which is actually lower, so to speak, from the mind, but when we raise ourselves above the mind and down to the heart, and we dwell our consciousness from this space, and you can simply do it right now by closing your eyes and intending to be in that space. And as you fall right here, and your eyes are closed, you can actually experience your consciousness perceiving and being in the center of your chest. Can you not? You cannot deny this. You have shifted. You have shifted. That would be the fourth density. That would be the fifth dimension. Hello, Abigail. Katerina. All right, let's get into the thick of the presentation. If you would, if you have not yet, please go to youtube.com/Center of Light Radio. Or you can get on YouTube and look up Center of Light Radio. Please subscribe to my page. It helps my work to become ever visible. Feel free to share this to your wall. I'm going to be putting to you some really far out, or far in rather, cool ideas, visions, possibilities, probabilities, and realities, and the play that can take place in the fifth dimension. A lot of spiritualists are now coming into the understanding, because they are moving into the fifth dimension from the third, what we're in, or many people are still in, and some of us are transitioning through the fourth onto the fifth. And they're coming back with information. The sun is not what we think it is. The sun is a hole where the light from the fifth dimension shines through upon this earth. The sun is a stargate for the light from the fifth dimension to portal through and shine upon this dimension, this planet. Take that in for a moment as a possibility. If you think about it, the SUN/SON, they both bring warmth and light to the world. Notice the SUN rises and the SON has risen. You think these are just simple word plays? They're not. As above, so below. And on forever it will go. Our sun is a portal from which the light of the fifth dimension shines through. In the fifth dimension, or the fourth density, we're able to move around in time anywhere we choose. We can choose different realities, different timelines, probabilities, and possibilities. Let me draw out a scale for you of what fifth dimension really is. One dimension would be a straight line. It has length only. Two dimensions has length and width, but no thickness. Doesn't have any depth at all. Two dimensions has length and width, but no depth. In a three-dimensional reality, you have length, width, depth. This is the experience we're most used to playing in, the third dimension. The fourth dimension, time is added. It can be seen as an object that exists through time. But time only runs in the direction of, so to speak, forward. It only runs in one direction. We can only move down this timeline. And there is no going back, except in the spirit. Now, as we move into the fourth density, the heart chakra, the green ray, reality is quite different. Now, we start talking about moving into the fifth dimension now. It's also called the fourth density. Reality there is quite different. I know it to be so. I play in that arena every time I do these live feeds like now. And I'm sure spirit will come up in a little bit and begin to take over my mouth, my heart, my intention. Here in the fourth density, once we achieve this space, we can actually move around in time and see many different kinds of universes. Think about that. It's almost a manifestation of the internet. In fact, it is. It's a cosmic manifestation of the same model and idea of the internet. You, the spirit, sits down at your computer, get on a keyboard, type in your destination. There is no information you cannot find out on Google. The internet knows everything. That would be God's omniscience. The internet is everywhere. That would be God's omnipresence. We all know that information is power. So the internet, via the information, gives us power. God is all powerful. As above, so below. On forever it will go. Hello, Allison, Mitzi, Cheryl, Deanna. Carol says, I have a monkey mind working on it. You go, girl. I would suggest, Carol, if I may, if you want to work on that monkey mind, leave it alone, except observe it. Be the observer and just watch the monkey and how noisy he can be in his yammering and chattering and griping and bitching and moaning and complaining. Not that you moan and complain, but that's the monkey. Just watch it. And in the light of awareness, he will quieten. Very, very awesome. I'm happy to hear that for you. So what will it be like in the fifth dimension or the fourth density? Though we are in the fourth dimension because we do live in the 3D world, time is added. We do experience time. So we are playing in and out of the third and fourth dimension. People say we are in 3D, as I just mentioned. Well, yes, this is true, but we must add time to the three spatial dimensions of which we are aware. Now, here's the good stuff. Once you find yourself at home in the garden of your soul, here's some ideas and realities you will experience. The true vibrational nature of love. I don't mean relationship love, except your relationship with parent. Imagine the greatest moment of blissful feeling you have ever had in your life your child was born, whatever it may be for you. Turn that volume up to infinity. Simply for the feeling of it alone. Healing. There will be no war. Magic of all kinds will exist for you and for everyone. Light, light, light everywhere. There will be light. You will see people's light around them as you are experiencing reality in this way. Other beings, you will see their light field around them. We will become used to identifying them as the light field and by the color of the field and how it vibrates. In other words, it will have a signature vibration and signature colors. Though the colors may change, so may also the vibration. There will still be a familiarness there, and you will identify and communicate with each other and recognize each other by your own light fields, and then the faces will begin to fade away, because in this experience they will no longer be important, because they will no longer have a need to identify people by the way they look, because you're going to be living in the place where you feel. And so in this dimension, this fifth place, this fourth density, you will identify each other by how you feel towards each other, by the level of love, by the vibration of love you share with each and every individual. Besides, it will not be a figuring out process. When you come upon someone, and the unity that happens, everything becomes known. What a delicious place to live in. Wow. You will see everyone's light as it glows around them. Cosmic experiences. You can think a very general thought. I want to go somewhere in the universe and watch a star being born. Immediately, you are somewhere in the universe watching a star being born. Well, you may say, this may take billions of years. Exactly. Exactly. It may take billions of years, but you're sitting there will not experience it that way, because there will be no time, or at least time as we know it. Experience other worlds. Wow. Other landscapes in other worlds, other races in other worlds, other dimensional beings. There are beings that live on every frequency, bandwidth, and vibration. The universe is not teeming with life. That is a misnomer. The universe is life. It's an expression of Creator. And the whole is inherent in the fragment. And the fragment is inherent in the whole. It is all the same. In the fifth dimension, we come to that understanding. Can experience the angelic kingdom, your deceased loved ones, that you will come to find out very soon. Oh my God, y'all having a party over here. Crystal cities. Cities made out of crystals, 10 times taller than any buildings we have here. Mountains, 100 times taller than we have here. Streets paved in gold. And being in the space of no time. It's all in here. As we continue our way toward 5D, fourth density, we may see what we think are ghosts. What is happening is that we are perceiving into the next world, because the veil is becoming thin. So thin it's now an onion skin. And so now we're beginning to see people on the other side, and we may think we're seeing ghosts. You may be seeing ghosts, but you also may be seeing an angelic spirit. You may be seeing a spirit guide. You also may be able to see a deceased loved one. And we will find out shortly after, they have never died. Imagine living in this world. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. This world already exists. Are you climbing your ladder to see what all the hype is about? It exists. I did a broadcast sometime in the recent past titled Hope, and I set it up as if I was coming from the future to give this broadcast. And that's actually not far from the truth. If you listen to that presentation, you will see that the Keith you know that does these presentations, this one is different. He's coming from a different space inside. It's almost futuristic. You could hear it in the tone, you could hear it in the timbre, and you can see it in the way it all goes down in that presentation. I visit no time all the time. Pun intended. Your clairvoyance will heighten. You will have premonitions to help you navigate around, using your will to choose whether or not you want the next sequence of events. Meaning, in this reality, you're just going to will forth a premonition to let you know that if you go down this place, this is the sequence of events that's going to happen. Or you can simply turn and look down this place with a vision and see the sequence of events that's going to happen, and you can just choose. It's like in that Tom Cruise movie. What was it, Minority Report? At the end when they're running away and he's got the psychic and he's holding her hand and she stops and pauses and has a vision. No, we can't go this way. Let's go this way. This is how you will navigate in a matter of moments, not moments, spontaneously. You will be aware of every life you have ever lived. This is your liberation. We as Americans, for those who are in this country watching this presentation, we call ourselves free. There is nothing that compares to the liberation that exists in this reality that is unfolding today and has been unfolding for quite a while, and the gas is being turned up. It's exponentiating. The time is now. Get on the train to Ascensionville. There's no rush back home to spiritual consciousness, but that window is open. And for those who are choosing to enter the window, they'll get pulled into the current. For those who keep putting it off, it's okay. There's no judgment. You're not broken. On some level, you're just not choosing it as your time to embark into the highest idea of who you really are at your essence. And for those who are not choosing, the window gets smaller exponentially. For those who are choosing, the window becomes not only open, but it'll stay open and linger for you longer because you're doing the work and literally using your spiritual hands of light to keep the window open as you try and insist and do your best to move through it. Here's a sure way you can enter that promise etched on your heart and also etched in all scripture, etched in stone tablets all over the world. Some tablets have not been found yet. There's a lot going on in Antarctica that you were never told. Believe it. The Earth's ice is melting down there, and Mother Earth is going to reveal to us a very big surprise. The reason there are so many extraterrestrials visiting Earth is because we are of importance to millions and millions of civilizations. In fact, the entire universe. Take that in. We are an experiment, a combination of quite a few different extraterrestrials using DNA and RNA and putting us together, fashioning us so that we can become the unfoldment of billions of years of cosmic evolution. To walk on this planet as children of the Most High God. That means you are the embodiment of cosmic light. That's pretty powerful stuff right there. It's your liberation. When you break out of this meat suit, when you break out of the confines of the monkey that's always yammering on, when you get above the monkey and you break out of the meat suit, your liberation is what this has all been about for you for billions of years. You'll be in a space of no worry, no struggle, no effort. You'll be able to heal people by your own will, by just using your intention of light. Once you begin living in the fourth density, the fourth dimension and above, you cannot become entangled with the old reality, the one we're in now, so to speak. You wouldn't want to, but you cannot become entangled with it. Your vibration is too high, and it's lost its luster. You no longer have any interest in it whatsoever. There'll be no drama, no war, no fighting, these types of things. Those in fourth dimension and above can see the people in the third dimension. People in the third dimension cannot see people above them. I have had this happen many times to me in my life. You can do this. Try it. You can raise your vibration in a room full of people and cloak yourself with intention and never be seen. People will pass right by you and no one will know you are there. So if you vibrate naturally as a new default to fourth dimensional energies and higher, then you actually begin to leave the bandwidth and the conscious spectrum of someone's ability to take you in to say, there's John Doe. You can literally do this. It happens all the time. When I do my live feeds and I say soul speaks, the place I fall into is the fifth dimension or beyond. I don't know which one it is, honestly, because I have not went through the gradation period of being in those realities long enough to tell you which one it is. All I know is when I fall inside, I am in a space of absolute no time, and I feel the most amazing calm and bliss, and I get to sit in it, and it feels like a soft, ever-fulgent, enriching, loving, supporting divine fire. So in the fourth and fifth dimension, your faculties, your hearing, your seeing, your feeling, all these sensory objects are going to become very heightened. For example, you may have the vision of an eagle in the ears of a cat, so forth and so on. Let me say hi to those who just arrived. Miranda, hello. Hello, Sonia, Patty, Adana, Sim, hello from India. India has my heart. Alex Teplish, Wendy, Ashley, Tiffany, Janice. Janice says, it's like you are speaking to me. You need to share some more of those goodies with me and tell me what's going on with you so I can delight in your experience. So are we getting the picture? I'm sure you are. Hello, Linda. Patty says she's experiencing this kind of clarity daily. Good for you, dear. Amazing. So this reality is not a future event. It's right here, right now. Because we're in the third dimension, actually the fourth. The fourth is added because we do add time. It seems like it's taking us time to get to our final destination, but here's the kicker. No matter how much time it takes for us to get to no time, when we finally get there, all of our struggles about everything will be forgotten. It's all just going to go away. Like however old you are right now, let's say you're anywhere between 35 and 60 years old. All those years that you lived that seemed like it took you 30 or 60 years to get to where you are at this point, you may remember it, but it has been forgotten, at least the struggle of it. Imagine this on a divine level. We truly begin to see everything that has taken place until our awakening has simply been a midday nap, a cosmic nap. You feel me? This is where I'm headed every day. And I hope you are joining millions of people riding that train. Sean Renner, what's up, bro? Ham. I'm going to do a little bit of reading to tell you more from a written point of view of what the fifth dimension is. I'll do my homework thoroughly. And then I'll go into vessel mode and see if Soul wants to speak. Living from a state of 3D. 3D consciousness is viewing things from a purely physical state. You are seen as an individual that is separate from others. Life feels like the survival of the fittest, and you're identified by the way you look, the job you have, the car you drive, and the people you surround yourself with. You feel fearful about missing out or not having enough. There's lots of joy living life from a 3D state, but pain and deeper emotions can be difficult to manage. Welcome to the human experience. In 3D state, there is no desire to go within or to look at things from a deeper standpoint. Life is played out by skimming the surface. There is no desire to dig deep or to understand the deeper meaning behind things. Living from a 4D state, many people believe that the fourth dimension state acts like a gateway to the fifth. I would agree with that. When in the 4th D, it is easy to travel back to 3D. However, this jump in consciousness is more difficult when you reach a 5D state. 4D consciousness begins to awaken to the idea that we are all connected and that there is more to life than what meets the eye. Thoughts are powerful in this state and can shift the way reality is perceived. Duality and the idea of good and bad is still experienced, but there's more compassion and understanding behind it. Still in the fourth dimension, you perceive the world through six senses, and your intuition starts to grow and expand. You seek a deeper meaning to life, and you can start to see the synchronicity or magic of the universe. Living in a 5D state. Once you reach a 5D state of consciousness, it is very difficult to go back to 3D state. From this level of consciousness, you begin to understand that we are all one and we are all connected. Life becomes an adventure of growth. And I love it. I love the idea of growing and feeling myself expanded to something that I didn't know before. And now I use it in my life. It's become applicable and I'm seeing results. It's so powerful and rewarding and validating to see. And it makes you want to continue working out, or rather working in. And there is no such thing as good and bad. There is a higher purpose for all things, and every experience holds meaning. There are stronger feelings of love and connectedness with others, the planet, and even the galaxies around us. Love and compassion reign supreme, and there is a lack of judgment. You understand that everyone is just on their own journey. So if any of you out there are experiencing some of these things I'm reading in 5D, then parts of you are crossing over into fifth dimensional consciousness. Congrats. Everyone is considered to be equal, and there's a desire to live from a place of pure authenticity. You understand that your purpose is to live your truth and to seek the joy. From this state, you know that there is no competition and there is enough in the universe for everyone. You feel overwhelming emotions of love and compassion for life, Mother Earth, and the stars. Your intuition is extremely strong, and you feel connected to angelic beings. I feel this way every day of my life. I do. Thank you, Lord, I do. It is important to remember that these states of consciousness are not better or worse than the other. Every soul on this earth has their own journey to walk and their reasons for choosing which dimensional state to live from. Even higher states of consciousness it goes to 6 to 7D. It is believed that in the 6 and 7D, our thoughts are so powerful that all we have to do is think about a location and we can travel to it. In higher states like 8D, 9D, and 10D, it is believed that we are able to return our energy to the source, God, merge with others in our soul group, and travel to different galaxies, and so forth and so on. Here are some symptoms of living in 5D. Things begin to happen to you that line up. Synchronicity, serendipities, little small magic, miracles. Out of nowhere, things begin to happen. They catch your attention. This is one symptom of crossing over into 5D. The expansion of peace, of non-attachment, beginning to have peace and becoming detached from the world, all of it. The government, terrorism, racism, bickering between politics, it's noise. Just becoming detached from it. Miraculous manifestations, knowing, just absolutely knowing that you are being guided. Feeling like a misfit, a maverick, a pathfinder, and wayshower. This is all part of the call. "5D. Sonia says, I am actually going through this now. It is an amazing feeling. I do feel connected all the time to my higher self, God. Wow. Elwood, what's up, my brother? It's taking place. It's happening with me every day. It's happening with many of us every day. Go inside. Yanava, it has begun, so speaks. Ironically, in the pause, in the silence, I removed the words from Keith's mouth, removed them from his mind, so he would not bring them out until it was time. In that pause, in that silence, conveys more information than can ever be spoken. In that pause, in that silence you just experienced. This is why Soul played it out with you this way. To demonstrate, to be an example. Feel what the music is doing to you. Feel what the vibratory voice is doing to you. Feel what the feeling is doing to you. And if you let it, it will do you quite nicely. If you feel that, that is the fifth dimension. Congratulations. Now do the work to stay there. But don't see it as work, stress, or strain. See it simply as a love and light game that you gain everything that you've ever asked for. And I tell you, it does not look anything like you think. Dear one. It looks more like you feel. What you have always wanted looks nothing like you think. It looks more like you feel when you feel what you are feeling now, but ongoingly. There is no other work to do. Figure out how to stay in this simple space of being. That is what is forever freeing. Are you seeing my meaning? It's not hard. You have hardened yourselves to death. So now that you've done that so eloquently and perfectly, let that shit die. Just let it die. Let it dissolve. It is biodegradable. Release it and let it go back to the elements. For it has served you as long as it possibly can. And you wrung the rag dry, and there is no more milk in it, I tell you. Every time you go within in a meditation, or in meditation as you are doing something you love, you're connecting to 5D, fourth density. Do whatever it takes, for you are a creator. There is no right way to do it. Create your way. Tell yourself when this happens, it's going to trigger me and I'm going to be here, and so you will be. Create a little button in your mind's eye and press on the button, and so it will be. Create a crank and start to turn it, and so it will be. Or you can simply use your will and your intention, and so it will be. There is no right or wrong of it, rhyme or reason of it. But what there is intention to ever experience it. Learn to stretch your intention to where it becomes so second nature, it's your new default, it's your automatic pilot. And now that you are a pilot and you are aloft above the earth plane, so to speak, you as the pilot of your life can navigate to higher and higher dimensional realities. Simply by wanting to. If that does not entice you to come this way, no other way will serve you. Imagine you are so important that everything that was ever created is sustained now and or has the potential to exist because of you and for you. And through you is how you will begin to experience your own majesty, the enormity of who you are as essence, the soul. For that is who is speaking to you. A higher version of your own self coming through to give you a glimpse through this audio information as well as these screens that you look at so often. So you can have your own screening of what may take place for you as you begin to shift and fall further inside of yourself. This kind of dialogue with yourself, this kind of communication with yourself, this kind of communication with other people will begin to transpire within you. These ideas, these models you see on many spiritual teachers is sort of the example of what you will step into yourself. But nothing can depict nor describe to you the feeling that exists in the illumined ones. The feeling. The feeling. And it's to each his own to do the work to get to the feeling. It's the feeling you've always wanted. You think money brings you joy and the sense of freedom. Granted, but it really doesn't. What you really want is the feeling money brings you. That brand new car, the sports car, the red one, that you know is only going to get you in trouble because you're going to hammer on the accelerator. And the price you're going to pay for it, for the car, that is. Because you think the car is going to bring you a feeling. But in truth, when you feel the feeling by law, such things begin to show up in your life. They begin to gravitate towards you. It's the other way around. Again, what you have always wanted is the feeling. So feel what is being offered here. Implement it in your life. Feel it to the hilt. Spread this feeling to others as you speak to them, as you touch them, as you care for them. Stay in the feeling and help guide them back to their barometer, to their soul. Guide them back through feeling. And how deeply you feel for them, and how deeply you feel with them, and how deeply you feel because of them. And one by one, link by link, the chain will fashion together. And as a chain, you will become strong and mighty and not so three-dimensional flighty. And in this union, in this human spiritual chain, you will have the power to not only create the fifth dimensional window within you. As the chain comes together and begins to turn or revolve, things will evolve as everyone becomes involved. And the world's spiritual revolution, resolution, and evolution will take place. Yanava, it is complete. That's how we jump into the divine fire. People may ask, Keith, how do you do what you just did? I can tell you exactly how. There is no formula. I didn't write down a formula. How to make conscious contact with soul. So how do, Keith, how do I make conscious contact with soul? It's simply a desire, a sincere one. Sincerity would be like a brand new baby sister. Pink, soft, genuine, authentic, innocent. So I'm serious that I want to contact my soul. I'm sincere. I mean it. Kind of energy. Passion would be the fire, which is, there is no way I am not going to make contact with my soul essence. It may require breathing to move you through the stuff so we can begin to feel the light. Then that will work as well. But I have a passion and a sincerity about my way, at least, that launches me into that fifth dimensional place of soul. Lots of musicians do this effortlessly. Once they play 4 or 5 songs and they get settled in, they're no longer playing their instrument. There is something that's playing everybody in the group. So because I'm a full-time musician, and it takes me 3 or 4 songs to settle in, and I'm so used to the experience and the dynamic and dance that after 3 songs, I'm in the zone. When I do my spiritual work like now, all I need is a very simple intention that shifts me into that space. For example, this would be basically Keith as open-eyed, which I still feel my connection, but I'm more of this world. When I intend, it is truly like I travel light years in a matter of the intention. And the moment I intend, I am placed in my garden. So I hope that my offering, my life as an example, and many others, for those who are newbies, so to speak, on this path and really wanted to move in the field of spirituality, this field of spirituality, you came along at the right time. Your job is not going to be as hard as everyone before you. Doesn't mean you don't have karma to dissolve and things to iron out and things to understand and things to integrate and implement and refine the process from there. But there is a window open. This is the most grand, amazing, exciting time to be alive. There is a roller coaster, a cosmic roller coaster that is about to take off. And everyone is waiting in line with their e-ticket. And you have to be this tall to ride it. And this tall has nothing to do with physical stature. You have to be 48 inches spiritually tall. There is a joy, a feeling, as Spirit said, moving. And we allow it to move in us consciously, that we can actually feel the vibration of it. When we let everything go, the world, the griping in the world, the terrorism, the racism, the griping between politics, the griping with ourselves and our mind, become empty, become void of everything, void of thought. When you're void of thought, when Spirit places inspiration in your consciousness, obviously hear it because it's the only thing moving in your consciousness because there's no thoughts moving. So you know that you were spoken to by the higher plateau that says, I know you can hear me because there's no thoughts in the quote cesspool polluting your consciousness, so you can hear the purity of your divine parent whisper sweet loving things in your heart space. Fifth dimension. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Actually, I'm going to find the lyrics and read them. Age of Aquarius. We're moving into the window, very well into the threshold of the window. When the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide the planets and love will steer the stars. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. Harmony and understanding, sympathy and trust abounding. No more falsehoods or derisions. Golden living dreams of visions. Mystical crystal revelation and the mind's true liberation. Aquarius. All scriptural books have pointed to this time. All scriptural books have pointed to the time we are living in. Carol says, my spirit showed me my life visions. My brother Victor DePonte. Hello Trudy. Hello Renee. Hello Norma. Steve. Michael. Tammy. So tonight's presentation is The Dawning of the Age of Aquarius 5D. My brother Victor's in here. He can tell you what 5D's like. Many people in here and that's going to watch this feed in the future. I hope this video validates what you're feeling inside, because you're not crazy. Actually, you are. You're not the norm, so you are one of the crazy ones. You're one of the fools. Well, I will wear that name tag proudly. Remember when Spirit said a minute ago in the vessel mode, feeling, it's always the feeling. One way you can possibly get through the monkey mind to silence it so you no longer hear it yammering on, is just stay aware of the feeling as often as possible. Because you're not listening to the mind, you focused on the feeling. And because you're focused on the feeling, if you're not feeling so well, because if you're focused on the fact that you're not feeling so well, you can just use your intention and your will to change the feeling. Because you can bet, as you shift in feeling, the mind will shift to a higher plateau. And then when you get really good at manipulating feeling, then you can stay in feeling good all the time. That will open up the gate to the 5th dimension itself. That can be considered a key. Feeling fits the door nicely. How do you know? I feel pretty damn good right now. Well, that's the door I'm about to walk in. Via the feeling I have with me now is in the next step that I take. That is the experience I'm moving to. You don't feel so well. You step into your experience not feeling so well. The next moment is going to bring you a mirror manifestation reflection of what you stepped in with the feeling you brought forth. The trick is to get so good at this that you never meander away from always feeling good. You're good at it. Feeling. 5th dimension, feeling. In the 5th dimension, it's the place where there is no war, there is no disease, there is no karma. There is no karma, only dharma. Dharma translates to purpose. Not only will you know your purpose and the existence of you, but you will know your purpose and that which is your mission at any given moment in your cosmic fifth dimensional experience. There will be no time. This is why the fifth dimension gets me going and turns me on and turns many other spirituals and spiritual teachers on, because they know that there is a paradise right beyond the fog bank. And they don't care how big the fog bank is. They're going to keep paddling their canoe and paddling their canoe. And guess what? They're not griping and complaining while they're carrying the canoe, because they don't see it as a work. They see it as a recreation, a recreation of a new place. A recreation, some people canoe for recreation. But when you ride and paddle your spiritual canoe, it won't because you're efforting to get to the next place, as in working to paddle this heavy boat. It will be a recreation, a recreation of you to reach the next world through the fog bank of the monkey that's choking the heart. But guess what? There is no next world. You have been living in an illusion. You have been lied to. Though it does paint the idea, it pales in comparison. What do you think the next world is? It's not a destination. It's not a location. It's you. You are the new world. You are the new earth. Our bodies are on loan from Mother Earth. One day we have to pay the loan back. Robert. You're welcome, Norma, for my time. How do we dissolve karma? Family history karma. Patty? Believe it or not, you've already started the process. When a person starts the process when they ask such a question. How? We never get any answer until we first ask how. In your asking how, you took a major step towards dissolving whatever karma you think you have and or do have. It's by recognizing the troubles in your life, how they keep showing up. But they may not show up as you imagine. They may show up as patterns. It is encrypted with a lot of information. All these events that happen that are not of a joyful nature. And the reason they keep coming back around is because the last time it came back around, I didn't have the, oh my God, I understand now why this karma always happens to me. The reason I get hit in the face every time is because I keep slapping people in the face. So now, I understand that every time I do this said thing, there is a repercussion, a broken arm, or a this thing, or you dropping things all the time, or you keep stubbing your toe, or you getting wrecks, or whatever it is. It's about being aware and really learning the energy you are transmitting and or receiving, and how to find yourself in a state of balance, but always intending of getting out of self-detriment on any level. Because no matter what we do to other people, as we administer whatever it is, in that moment, we get the first hit of the bat. It comes across in words, it comes across in actions. Basically, we need to clean up our life. What we do to others and what we do to ourselves. It's always about being gentle with the self. We can't be nice to other people until we're nice to ourselves, because it'll come across plastic. It's not authentic. And I guess that's why we call it being polite. I don't have to be happy with myself to be polite to you. But to be able to illuminate the biggest burst of light, to be most effective, is by being authentic with one's self. God is authentic. God does not fake anything. There's no illusion about God. God is authentic. So when we are in our authenticity, we line up. We become true to ourselves. Then we become the living truth. When you're true to yourself, you become the living truth. Because you are alive and living and not existing. You're living and you're following your heart, your maker, your joy, your bliss, your truth. Then you become the living truth. You become the new earth. Ashley says, you mentioned the RNA factor. Would you be willing to elaborate on that a little by chance when you have the time? I totally resonate with this. It's beautiful. We can talk about the RNA, DNA, and everything that's contained within and the spiraling. We can talk about the acids. But this is a little beyond the vessel's understanding to where I can easily drop thought or word pictures in its consciousness that he may be able to divulge in a way that you would understand. Everything has been encrypted in the double helix. Billions and billions and billions of years. In a time frame that you can never understand. Has brought into the experience the existence of you. There is no other time that is more precious. All this time things have been conspiring. Animals have been evolving. Consciousnesses have been evolving. People have been evolving. Planets have been evolving. The galaxies have been evolving. But all of that has been contained in the stardust and the dust of the earth of which we are all have been made. And that foundation has been laid. And the scale has tipped and now being weighed. This is the time you all have prayed for. Like it or not, as said before, shit or get off the pot. Because in truth, it's really all you've got. What happens if you try your best in the way that is being presented through the vessel? What happens? Oh dear, when everything is all not true, what happens? The same thing that happens when you take no initiative. Absolutely nothing. So you see there, because there is now an imagination of such, it brings forth the life of possibility. And all it requires is for you to move into the dream making and the vision. To make it not only probability, but reality. That reality awaits you in your very near future, depending on who you are. It can happen in a moment. For you to move into the window of your soul as you see transpiring before you. But once you begin to get glimpses of who you are and the light that exists as you, your task, dear one, so to speak, is to be easy and allow yourself to feel joyful. For that will be your barometer to the portal that you call the sun. As was mentioned earlier, this is a very great facet of the truth. Your celestial star called the sun is actually a stargate, It's an opening that the light from the fifth dimension shines through into this three-dimensional earthly world. There is more in that light that you call sunshine than you could possibly imagine. It's been impregnating you with spiritual information for millennia. Slowly but surely, ever patient God is. Light photon after light photon as it bombards your being for many years. Light photon after light photon. You were given packets of light and energy and information. For God is embodied in every photon of light, every globule of light. You want to see light other than just looking directly at the sun or at a lamp? Look in a patch of blue sky, dear one. Relax your vision. You will see little white things moving all across your visual spectrum. If these are not these little things you think are floating around in your eye called floaters, you are seeing units of light. And with every one you see that wisp off into another place, because you can only grab conscious visual image of it for about that long, then it flees from you. They're all filled with packets of light and information. This is how people who eat no food whatsoever, the practice of breatharianism, the art of no longer eating food ever in your life again, and living joyfully without disease and in spiritual realms, is because in these packets of, in these photons of light, it are these packets of information and light, all sorts of encodings. And people who practice breatharianism are nourished by the light. The same light that grows the grass that the cows eat. Whether you're vegetarian or a meat eater, the point is still made. It all comes from the sun, the S-U-N, the S-O-N. Receive your light, children. Bask in the light. Play in the garden. It is truly simple. It's not your religion. Though that is a beautiful, beautiful way of celebrating your life. It's simply just wanting. Simply just wanting. For no other reason except the joy that abounds when you choose it. It is complete. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you. I must get me some food here soon. I had a blast, as I always do, spending my time with you. Ashley, I hope the different expression to answer your question about RNA factor served you. I'm not really per se scientific minded. So I don't have it in my think tank words that would, so Spirit, per your request, answered you by using the words that work for me, that work in my conscious. Basically, it was still, not that you asked it for it to be technical, but it was still technical in the form of playing in the arena RNA, DNA structures, said differently. There is someone in here who has a cat as their icon. When they click the little love buttons or the like buttons that float across the screen, would you click it again, whoever you are with the cat? Because I think I know who that is. Wow. The space I was in this moment, reflecting back, I am so completely, utterly grateful for. What else I'm utterly grateful for is the space I'm in with this beautiful little queen. Everybody who has not met Crystal yet, this is Crystal. Thank you. 5D. Center of light tonight is Center of light 5D. The Dawning of Aquarius. Hypersensibility. Telekinesis. Telepathy. Seeing, being, freeing. All that which is beautiful, which is your divine birthright. Do you feel so beautiful is the question I ask you on this night, in this moment. Do you feel worthy? Do you feel beautiful? Simple question. Powerful response within. I know you feel it. I know how you feel about yourself. How do I know? Because I'm just like you. I know the power of such questions that I often ask myself. Do you feel beautiful? You already know the answer. Tropic of Capricorn or Tropic of Cancer, it's really up to you. Do you feel beautiful just by being you? What else can you do? What else is due for you? What do you want? The gate is open. And the others on the other side are hoping that you are groping for something beyond what you've always known. What is that beyondness, if you will? What is that beyond? What does that mean? Good question. Here's a good answer. You have to get out of what you have always known. There is no other way. Please share with me if there is. You have to get out of what you have always known to fall into the fertile ground of forever being grown. There is no other way. I'm sorry. There just is no other way. If you're tired, full of anxiety, depression, a little bit of both, what do you ever expect to happen if you stay in that sameness? Please share with me. Because I'm sharing my heart with you. There is no other way. So yes, it will require you, me, and we to move into 5D. Do you see? Do you hear my plea? Center of light 5D. The dawning of Aquarius. The pouring of the water. What is water? Water is life-giving. Do you feel that you are being drenched, graced by the infinite waters? May the heavens open up, crack the fuck open, and rain, R-A-I-N, rain, R-E-I-G-N, rain on your parade. Or you can simply always, ongoingly, be dismayed and feel like you have been played. Either way, you will be laid sensually, or if you will feel that the system has screwed you. It's all sexual. It's all sensual. Because energies are always coming together. Or apart. What do you want? The head, the monkey, or the heart? The spiritual junkie? Let's see what's happening in the room. Katarina says, beautiful Crystal Kiki. Kitty, I love her. She's just lovely. In fact, while I was watching this wonderful spiritual teacher a minute ago, I grabbed her and told her how much I appreciate her and thanked her for being in my life. She softens my heart. As grumbly as this old man can be, she puts me in check. She writes me a check of grace and deposit it in my bank account. And I can bank on that. By all accounts, I love that little girl. She's reminded me how to be good to myself. You are loved beyond measure. It is my pleasure. You are my treasure. See you soon.